Jurgen Klopp, you are a fucking disgrace of a human. An unbelievable manager, but a piece of shit of a human. Look at the state of this absolute wanker. You fucking wanker. Honestly, I'd love to smash that jaw in, you fucking prick. You fucking absolute cock.
What's the story, everyone? How are we all getting on? So I don't normally make content around other people's opinions or videos or topics or whatever they want to discuss usually, but do you know what it was? Like, I was flicking away on Twitter the other day, just doing your thing, and I seen this video pop up of True Geordie, and I'm sure most people know who he is. I used to follow him quite religiously back in the day, obviously on the kickoff when he had all the old lads on there like Lawrence McKenna and Boovy and Adam McColl and all these lads. Hugh Wizzy, even remember him, but obviously all those lads abandoned him. You know, they jumped ship once True Geordie started making Islamophobic comments and everything else. But yeah, I was just looking away at Twitter and I seen, you know, a clip pop up from his live stream. You would have seen it there in the intro where he discusses Jurgen Klopp as a piece of shit human being and like a crappy human and all this like absolute nonsense. And you know what, I just thought, let's set the record straight. Let's put this man in his place and let's really just say, let's just say how it is. Let's say how it is, because he did release a video yesterday, and to be honest, this video actually, this is what tipped me over the edge. This is what made me go, do you know what? We need to put this right. We need to put this right here, right now, and discuss absolute truth and facts. So he made a video that was titled like "My Problem with Jurgen Klopp," and he's got a little cheeky thumbnail, "Jurgen Klopp needs to be stopped." I mean, it's just, I mean, firstly, it's like he's discussing Jurgen Klopp like he's some man who's, you know, generated atrocities back in the 1940s, or he's some sort of supervillain or some sort of freak out there that's attacking women or something like that. Like, genuinely mental. Like, if you had no context as to who True Geordie was and what football was, and you saw True Geordie talking about Jurgen Klopp, you would wonder, like, what on earth is Jurgen Klopp doing? Like, what can he be doing to generate that kind of reaction? Mental. Turns out it's just a game of football. Turns out it's just a game of football. And to provide some context around the scenario, so on Monday night, Liverpool were playing Newcastle United. Liverpool beat Newcastle United 4-2. And just running through sort of how the game was and some sort of key incidents that Mr. True Geordie was not happy with. So in the first half, Liverpool had a goal from Luis Diaz, ruled out for offside. Newcastle also had a goal that was ruled out for offside. That was also correct. Two correct decisions right there from VAR and the officials. Liverpool then got awarded a penalty. Luis Diaz was brought down inside the box now. Gary Neville, I like Gary Neville. I really do. I think Gary Neville's a great pundit. I think he's one of the few pundits out there that I'd actually sit down and listen to. But I don't know what he's saying here. Like, this is a dive. I don't know what was going on with Gary Neville in this commentary. Like, he sort of just lost his way a bit. A few things he said in different moments were just a little bit unusual, but it wasn't a dive. It was not a dive by any stretch of the imagination. There was clearly contact on Luis Diaz and he goes down. Is it soft? Does he throw himself to the ground ever so slightly? Yeah, he probably does, but that's football. That's modern football. That's very much what we see, you know, a lot of the time from now on. And, you know, Liverpool have given away penalties like this. Newcastle have gotten penalties like this. Like, the irony of True Geordie going mad about some of the refereeing decisions is that Alexander Isak got a penalty against Nottingham Forest for far less in the game just a couple of days ago. Why does that not get mentioned? Because you went and bottled it anyway and lost 3-1. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's probably why that doesn't get a mention. In the first half, the referee, Anthony Taylor, he definitely lost control. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He was dishing out silly yellow cards. One of True Geordie's points was that Lewis Miley's yellow card was a little bit, you know, it shouldn't have been a yellow card, and I'd probably agree with that. I'd probably say that shouldn't have been a yellow card, but I'd also say that Luis Diaz shouldn't got a yellow card when Joelinton completely pushed him on the ground. Luis Diaz gets up, you know, he's angry, he's frustrated, he gets a yellow card. But I mean, like, this whole descent thing, like, I was looking at it thinking, he could have just been mad about the challenge, not necessarily the referee's decision, so a little bit unusual. Joelinton was, I mean, he was playing wrestling on the pitch at one stage. I don't know what he was doing. I mean, I've never seen a player do so much and not get booked. You know, it was absolutely mental. I mean, he had one instance where he was hanging out the back of a Liverpool player. Liverpool played advantage and the referee didn't come back to give him a yellow. Just very, very unusual. Apparently, Mike Dean was saying there's a rule where that can happen. Again, I don't know, that just makes no sense. But conveniently enough, in True Geordie's like 8-minute sort of rant, or, you know, you could say his little cry fest or whatever you want to describe it as, he doesn't mention that. You know, that just, you know, completely, oh, the irony right there. Let's not mention Joelinton completely trying to fucking rugby tackle players left, right and centre. Let's just leave that one out. Second half comes around and Liverpool score a legitimate goal. Newcastle then score a legitimate goal. Liverpool score 2 further legitimate goals to go 3-1 in front. Newcastle get one back. And then Alexis McAllister plays an absolutely unbelievable pass, which is sort of got forgotten about in all this sort of madness. Diogo Jota's running through and goes around the goalkeeper. I mean, look, there is slight contact to bring him down. It's an unusual one because Diogo Jota, like, if he stays on his feet, he puts the ball in an empty net. I know people were saying there was 2 defenders on the right-hand side. They wouldn't have got there on time. He would have hit that ball on his left with a good amount of pace. There's no way they would have caught up. If that had been Núñez, I would have said, yeah, maybe he fucks that one up. Do you get me? But Diogo Jota doesn't miss that. He does not miss that. So I don't really know like what happened there, to be honest with you. I was nearly thinking maybe he pulled something or he sort of, you know, there was a delayed reaction in his calf or something of that nature, because I couldn't really understand why else he went down. It didn't really make a lot of sense because the contact, you would say, shouldn't be strong enough to bring him down, but maybe it was. We don't know. But look, I think one thing that's getting forgotten, and Geordie sort of forgot this, like there was contact. Do you know what I mean? There was contact, and when you look at this Diogo Jota penalty and you look at Alexander Isak penalty against Nottingham Forest, do you know what I mean? Like, you have to be consistent here, mate. Do you get me? And even if we want to go further back, Newcastle's winning goal against Arsenal, you know, a couple of months ago. I mean, whatever about the ball not being able to play, fair enough, that's cool. But there's clearly a push on Gabriel's back. Do you get what I mean? Clearly a push. And funny enough, when he made his video about that, he said it was William Saliba who got pushed. I mean, clearly not watching the game by the looks of it. But anyway, let's get to the root cause of what he discussed in this video. So he was mentioning that Jurgen Klopp is influencing all the officials out there, and that Liverpool, you know, had a bad decision that went against them against Tottenham, and that's been the exception to the norm. And since then, Liverpool have been getting every decision under the sun. That is absolutely a load of bollocks, I'm sorry. I mean, fair enough, Jurgen Klopp is a little bit mental on the sidelines. He's a little bit mad, and I can understand why rival fans wouldn't really like him, because, like, as a Liverpool fan, I didn't really like Jose Mourinho. I didn't really like Sir Alex. Sir Alex was always calm and cool on the touchline, don't get me wrong, but he was just really, really good. Do you know what I mean? And that was the reason why I didn't like him. And I'm sure that's probably deep down why a lot of rivals don't like Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, he's a little bit mad, he's a little bit crazy, but like most managers are. Do you get what I mean? Like the irony in this as well is that True Geordie's talking about Jurgen Klopp going mad. Are we not forgetting that Eddie Howe has one of the most like mental assistants that we've ever seen? Do you get what I mean? I mean, this guy thinks he's a supermodel, like going around shushing players and all this crack and going mad on the sideline. The man thinks he's the main character. Jason Tindall, do you know what I mean? He thinks he's the main character. He thinks he's a James Bond villain or something like that. And I tell you what's going to happen. Eddie Howe's going to get sacked, and then Jason Tindall's going to end on I'm a Celebrity or Dancing in the Stars or something like that, because this man wants the attention. And I don't think Jurgen Klopp this year has done anything out of the like ordinary that I can think of where he's done that and that I'm like, oh, that was, I mean, fair enough, when the incident happened with Joe Gomez, Joelinton gets booked and, you know, Klopp takes off his hat and, you know, he looks like he's going to go mad and then he sort of refrains himself. Fair enough, that was a bit of the over the top reaction, but does that justify him being a shit human being? I mean, coming from a man who, as we said, has, you know, had some very questionable things that he said on live streams and also some very questionable DMs, it's just a little bit like, very contradictory. I'd say beyond contradictory, to be honest. And another point we're missing here is even in his 8-minute video, he never once acknowledges that Liverpool were the better team. Let's look at the statistics. Liverpool had 34 shots. They missed 9. They had 9 big chances. 4 of them were goals. 5 of them were missed. Liverpool created the highest XG in Premier League history since XG stats started being recorded. So are we really going to act like this Jota penalty was the reason that Liverpool won the game? No. Do you know what I mean? Newcastle were barely creating anything. You know, they got a brilliant, well-worked first goal. Fair play to Isak. I mean, he's doing what Núñez can't do, and that's, you know, I kind of wish we had Isak in our team, to be honest with you. And then they got a second goal when Liverpool switched off. But I think even if Jota goes through and misses that, he goes around the keeper and misses it, let's say, you know, or even it isn't a penalty, I think Liverpool still probably win the game. You know, I do. You know, crazy to think we probably get a fourth because we took our foot off the gas the last few minutes just to try and shore it up ever so slightly. So Yeah, just, just admit your team was crap and you lost. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool were far better, and I know it might be painful to see it, and it's hurting a lot of people seeing Liverpool top of the league. I don't even think Liverpool will win the league as a Liverpool fan. I think Man City will still win it. But, boy, my God, the salt. The absolute salt. I mean, you can see it. The salt. Yeah. And this whole notion that Liverpool have got every decision in their favour since the Luis Diaz incident is, again, just not true. And again, complete false and complete slander. I mean, if you actually look through Liverpool's decisions that have gone against them in the majority of this season, first of all, you have the Alexis McAllister red card against Bournemouth. It doesn't get mentioned because Liverpool still won the game, but PGMOL released a statement a couple of days later and actually apologised about it, and McAllister's red card got reversed. But can you imagine if Liverpool dropped points in that game? And against Newcastle, Van Dijk was sent off. And I actually think it was a red card in fairness. But, that decision went for Newcastle. Newcastle got that, okay? It didn't go against them that day. And you still didn't win. You lost 2-1. So, do you know what I mean? What more do you want? You've obviously got the Luis Diaz incident against Tottenham. You've got the incidents against Brighton, where Brighton should have went down to 10 men after the penalty incident. You've had a whole host of other things. I mean, the other week against Burnley, one of the goals was wrongly disallowed. The Cody Gakpo goal, which absolutely made zero sense. You had the Martin Odegaard handball for Arsenal against Liverpool, and makes no sense. Look, Liverpool have had, fair enough, we have had a few decisions go in our favour. The Kanate non-yellow card against Everton, I think that was a big one. I think he should have been sent off that day, and it was 0-0. And who knows, Everton might have won that day, or might have at least got a draw. So fair enough, I can agree that we got that decision. And maybe there have been a few other ones here and there, like Delo getting sent off against us. And if you want to give the Jota one to Newcastle, fair enough. But again, does that influence the outcome of this game? Absolutely not. And we're going to act like Newcastle haven't got decisions in their favour. The one against Arsenal, like I mentioned before, and of course the Isak penalty just a week ago against Nottingham Forest. It probably, and I'm sure there's been other decisions that have gone their way, but you've lost 7 of your last 8 games. So because you've been so poor, those decisions probably haven't even mattered. So yeah, just absolutely wild. And yeah, True Geordie has just lost all credibility. He's completely lost himself. Completely lost his train of thought, and this used to be a man who used to make some of the best footballing content on the platform, and now he's just a complete shadow of himself. He's got a bunch of yes men around him who probably, are all just laughing. It's kind of awkward when you watch the clip as well. They're all just laughing in the background, and it's we know he's taking it too far, but at the same time he's given us this chance to be on the show, so we can't really disagree with him. And yeah, you can see why everyone's just, jumped ship over the years. You really, really can when he's making absolutely crazy statements like this. Don't get me wrong, you can dislike Jurgen Klopp. That's completely fine. I don't particularly like Mikel Arteta. Again, would I call him a piece of shit human being for, going mad in press conferences and everything like that? No, because that does not make any sense whatsoever. And as I said, Jurgen Klopp can be a whingy, bastard at the best of times, and he can be someone that a lot of people don't like, and I understand that. I do understand that, but this is a very over the top reaction, especially just a couple of days after the video that was released on Liverpool FC's website, on their Instagram, on their Twitter, of a young boy from my own country in Ireland, in Monaghan, a county just a little bit northern from me, and he's meeting the team, meeting the players, and basically having his dream at Christmas. And you look at Klopp and how cool he is and how calm he is in those moments, and I just think, here's a man visiting kids at Christmas, underprivileged kids with disabilities and everything else, and here's True Geordie saying that. It just really, really rolled me up. It really, really did. But at the same time, considering what he said in the past and what he's done in the past, it's probably expected, and it wouldn't surprise me if sometime soon he says something else that he deeply regrets. But yeah, if you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, subscribe. We'll get more videos out in the next couple of days, obviously, talking more about the football, more about the games, more about the stuff we actually want to discuss, because as I said, as a Liverpool fan, things have been going all right recently. And could Liverpool win the Premier League? That's going to be a topic in the next video.